Sorry. The way Mike Tyson. We did a lot of Mike Tyson in the fight.
Okay, today we're here with Matt Baiamonte. You trained Matt Damon for Jason Bourne.
Yep.
Can you tell us what you trained him for?
Boxing. We did a lot of boxing for the movie. He had a strength and conditioning coach, but I did all the boxing and fight scenes.
Now he goes bare knuckle, right?
Yeah. It was pretty brutal. Actually, we had a guy named Brian Nichols who fought him in the second scene, and that guy was a real bare knuckle fighter, and the two of them wound up coming out with bruised ribs, arms, shoulders. They were really throwing blows, at least to the body, to make it look more realistic for the audience, and it was pretty brutal. Yeah.
It was. He actually takes him down in one punch.
Yeah. Well, not the first one. The second one, it was kind of like a good slug, kind of like an Arturo Gatti, Mickey Ward type of fight. But the first one, yeah, he did take the guy out with a beautiful left hook. Yeah.
And how do you go about training somebody like that, who's an actor? I mean, it's a rough sport. So how do you go about training them?
I train everybody differently, so whether athlete or it just depends on what keeps them going or what gets them going. Matt has been doing boxing since the first Bourne. So with Matt, it was more or less easy because he's athletic and he knows the sport. So it was more, for this movie, was just getting a little bit of the ring rust off and just sharpening him up.
What was the regimen for him?
The regimen with Matt was we basically had to train whenever we could because of his shooting schedule. So there were times where we would literally do the strength and conditioning, and then right after that, right into the boxing, and then he'd go straight to set for 12 days. So the workouts went from, I would say, about 2 hours or so every day. And then if we needed to do fight choreography and go over stuff with the choreographers, a guy named Roger Young who did all the Shanghai movies, worked with Jackie Chan, and then Gary Powell, the head stunt guy. So it was just he really busted his ass for that role. Yeah.
Yeah, he looked like he was in pretty good shape.
Yeah, he was in great shape. I tell everybody, he says it in his interviews too. When you get up to our age in your 40s, it's not as easy as it used to be in the 20s, and it takes a lot more preparation to get your body ready for the camera.
Right.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Been boxing, I think, for 26 years. My mentor was Angelo Dundee, who trained Muhammad Ali, Sugar Land, and George Foreman. Had one world champion, actually a female named Melissa Hernandez, won the 126-pound WBC championship. Train athletes from all around: LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Rudy Gay from the Kings, at least 2 or 3 dozen NFL players, and just regular people. So.
Now, from those iconic boxers, what's the best story you ever heard about those boxers?
Man, there's so many. Being around Angelo for since I was 18, but the last 12 years of his life was more hand-on, and just he had so many funny stories with Muhammad, and the jokes that they used to play. It was more jokes, but to me, when you think about Angelo, you think about his iconic fights with Ali and Frazier, and then you start thinking, okay, well, Muhammad also fought Foreman, and then Norton and all those other guys, and you kick it down a notch and you go down to Sugar Ray Leonard, and you think, okay, he fought Duran, Hagler, Hearns, and it's just to hear those stories. And I think the funniest story I think I was told was by Angelo when they were fighting. Foreman was fighting. He was fighting Foreman, and Foreman had gotten cut, and they were kind of stuck in Africa for an extra 6 weeks or so, and they were looking for a place to eat. So Angelo's out, doing his usual thing. He walks into a jungle, and he finds this whole town that they're building, and it's all Italian guys. So him and Muhammad wound up going there for Italian meals for the rest of the training. Well, Foreman was miserable in his hotel room, and they're hanging out. Angelo said it was literally like you could have went to a village in Italy, and it was the same thing. So I guess I would say that was one of my favorite stories by Angelo.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, was there one move that Matt Damon particularly liked, or one exercise?
Matt likes to go to the body. He's a good body shot guy, so you'll see in the second bare knuckle brawl scene, he loves to throw the left to the body, and that beautiful left hook that I think he's perfected. Sorry. The way Mike Tyson. We did a lot of Mike Tyson in the fight. If you see, he throws in the last final scene, he throws the right to the body, right to the head. Yeah.
That's a Mike Tyson move.
Yes. The last fight scene, you'll see a lot of Mike Tyson. Matt loves Mike Tyson. Yeah.
Now, how different is it because he is coming to blows when he's in training, but actually on the set, you don't come to blows, or do you? Or I mean, like almost like an inch from somebody's face.
Well, like I said, him and Brian were kind of tagging each other to the body, but he told me the funniest stories. I can't remember which Bourne it was. He had a professional world kickboxing champion that was in one of the scenes, and you know, Matt came close to hitting the guy like once or twice, and then one time he hits the guy, and he says, "Man, I'm really sorry." And he goes, "I'll make you a deal." He says, "Every time I hit you, I'll buy you a bottle of the most expensive champagne that there is." So the French guy's like, perfect. So Matt told me he wound up buying the guy like a case or two of champagne. He hit the poor guy like 6 or 7 times, whatever it was.
What can you show us today?
Do the quick left hook that maybe Matt did in the opening sequence. We could do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
So
Thank you.
it's just basically Matt just walks up and he just crack, and that was it. Quick switch of the hip and turn, and then he kept the elbow up and looked straight ahead, and the guy was out cold.
Now that seems like a couple seconds,
Yeah.
but to practice it and to get into that, like the best shape.
Man, it took a while, you know, like people, like, especially Matt's such a perfectionist at what he does, you know, no matter what scene he's doing, whether it's boxing or a crying scene, he would literally just practice it over and over because he wants it to be that perfect. So, like, I remember we worked on that left hook. I think it was like, we would do like 6 rounds of just left hooks just to get it to perfection. And honestly, that shoot only took maybe, I would say, with both camera angles that they were using, maybe 10 takes, which wasn't too bad. And the guy that actually got knocked out, that was his first time he's ever done it, like a fake fall to the ground or whatever. So it was actually pretty cool that they nailed it that quick.